Tansi, hello everybody. Sean McDonald, Métis Man here. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
I was born a Métis, born on Métis land, raised on a settlement, proud to be a Métis man. Well, today I work in white man's world. I'm married to a Métis girl.
Thanks everybody, Métis Man here, coming again from Batoche, and I got a special guy standing beside me here that I recorded last year. Brody, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Brody Jerome from a little town just south of Lethbridge in Alberta called Raymond. Man, I don't know, what else do you want to know? I'm not that interesting of a guy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I know you're Métis, right?
That is correct.
Okay, through Métis Nation, Alberta, or?
Yep.
Okay. And do you know what your heritage comes from, like which reserve and that? Or?
That's a good question. I know it's up north.
Yep.
Not totally sure where.
Okay.
No,
That's fine.
That's what my dad's for. He knows all that stuff.
Brody, tell me about that song you did last year. You know, I come in a little late. I didn't know you were. Well, I didn't know who you were at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I came in a little late. And I caught that one song and that was it. But that one song is what did it for me, you know? And I'm sure me, like everybody else out there, or a lot of, especially men out there, can really relate to that song, right? You know, about depression and all that stuff and you know, mental health and all of that, right? We all face those ups and downs in our lives. And that song really hit home for me and many others that actually watched your video on my YouTube channel, right? And I know that's an original song that you wrote. So please tell me about that song and how it come to you and that and why you wrote it and that, and please tell me about that, please.
Well, that song, I wrote it probably a few years ago now, maybe a couple years ago.
Okay.
I was just going through a really hard time. I just, you know, didn't know if life was worth it anymore, and you know, I can remember I pulled up to just an empty parking lot, middle of the night one day, and I started writing this song and didn't really know where it was going to go, and you know, I was a little nervous to play it here last year because I know in a competition setting sometimes originals aren't really the best because nobody knows them, but you know, like, I'm glad that it was received well, and you know, I saw all the comments on your YouTube video, and those made me feel really good, and honestly, like, the reason why I do music is in hopes that, you know, I can help other people, you know, that my experiences and stuff that I've gone through, you know, people can hear that and be like, wow, I'm not alone, you know, I'm going through that exact same thing, and so, yeah, when I hear that people are like, oh, this song touched me, you know, it helped me, I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing it for.
Exactly. No, I agree. And you know, I'm glad people gave you that feedback on that song. And you say you wrote that because in the hopes of helping one person, right? And I do the same in my videos. You know, I speak quite a bit about, you know, men's mental health, the suicide rates, especially for Indigenous males and stuff like that. And I even left some health numbers on one of my videos. And I said, if you can't even talk to them, I said, you can contact me directly. And one male did that. You know what I mean? So that just changed my outlook on my videos and that, and how far the reach can really help people, right? And so it's the same thing with music. You know, it's an art form, and you can really speak to people through music, through video, through whatever, you know. And you know, like Louis Rel says, you know, about the art. You know what I mean? The art, the people, the artist will come out in 100 years, right? And I can see that now, just being here in Batoche itself and doing what you do, right? And no, that really hit home. And what was the name of that song again?
It's called Take It Away.
Take It Away. That's right. That's right. I know you do a lot of original music. You know, you wrote lots. So you did some more again this past weekend. And tell me more of those ones.
A lot of them, like with my writing, I try to, like, I've tried really hard to write things, you know, that I haven't been through, and I just find it so hard. So a lot of the stuff I write is all stuff I've gone through, whether it be a breakup or just, you know, a hard time in life, or whatnot. So it's kind of funny. I've got a couple songs that, you know, one song is called Other Side, and it's about, you know, just kind of being lost in life and but I wrote it to kind of like a train shovel, a more upbeat song. So it's kind of funny, and it almost, to me, it's like, you know, you're almost, you go through life kind of smiling through the pain a bit, and you know, really when on the inside, you know, you've got all this stuff hurting you. So it's like that song is kind of like that. You know, it's like, I feel like it's kind of an interesting beat for what the song's about, but you know, I think it's a metaphor for life, honestly. But
I agree.
yeah, I know lots of songs like that. You're working on some more that are a little more upbeat and happy. I feel like life has been pretty good lately. So
Can you tell us a little bit about those new songs up and coming?
oh, it's a good question.
At least the titles.
I don't even have those yet.
Yeah, that usually comes last, right?
Oh yeah, so I'm kind of blanking on what I've even written so far. So half the time I start singing one of my songs on stage and I forget what I've written before.
Oh, really? It just comes to you naturally then.
Yeah, like I find a lot of times I change up songs, you know, here and there. So, you know, I'll start singing live, and all of a sudden, how I wrote it, you know, 3 years ago compared to how I usually perform it, I start going back to how I originally, you know, wrote things. Which, when I'm playing with my band, throws them off. They're like, "What's going on?"
Really? So it kind of evolves, and then you bring back the reins and that, and bring it home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You talk about your band, or is there a name for your band, or?
Just my name. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like they're all great musicians, and
Yeah.
you know, I told them, like, if you want a band name, like, I'm happy to go, you know, as, you know, Brody Jerome and
Yeah.
a band name. But you know, I think they're just fine, kind of helping me out, and I'm grateful for them. And
Yeah.
I was hoping they could come here, but you know, they just set me up with the great house bands here, and you know, I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah. And tell me, when did you start getting into music and that, and what got you into music, or who?
Absolutely. So kind of when I started performing music, I mean, I've always really been into music. Trevor Panzak, he was kind of the guy that really got me into it. You know, I'm like sitting 6 years old, seeing him at Whoop Up Days in Lethbridge, and thinking he was just the coolest thing ever. And you know, it's cool because I've been able to, you know, meet him kind of through music, and that's been great. But you know, that kind of got me started. My dad's got a picture of me, probably like, you know, between 6 and 8 years old, standing on our dining room table or a dining room chair with a microphone that I'd cut out of paper with a little piece of like craft string attached to it, singing Trevor Panzak. Yeah. So I'd say that was kind of like my start, but I never thought that, you know, I would actually perform.
Yeah.
It wasn't until probably about 3 years ago now, one of my friends, it was her birthday.
Yeah.
She invited me out to a local, you know, bar in Lethbridge, and they happened to have open mic that night. So we had a bunch of friends there, and they convinced me to get up on stage. And you know, it's kind of funny because at the time I knew one song start to finish on the guitar, and that was Folsom Prison Blues.
Okay.
So
I think everybody started with that song. Eh?
Oh yeah. And that was honestly because my older brother, he'd done a talent show in like his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And he'd done that song, and so that kind of was, you know, kind of a song at the front of my mind.
Yeah.
So I did that song, and yeah, after playing it, I was like, wow, I really like this.
Yeah.
And so I started taking guitar more seriously, and started going to more open mics. And then you'd get guys going up at open mics, and they're like, oh, I wrote this song, and it's kind of like, oh, that's so cool. They you know, they wrote their own song. And so then I got into the songwriting, and yeah, kind of from there, it's you know, just one thing leads to another, and you know, it's always the little things that open doors to the bigger things. And I was listening actually to a podcast coming up here.
Okay.
As Riley Green was talking, and he was like, you know, there's a lot of situations or decisions you make that, you know, maybe aren't the best, like financially, or they don't really make sense. You'll be like, oh, maybe there's not going to be a lot of people there to kind of help you move forward. But you know, it seems to be those ones where you just randomly meet someone that maybe has a connection, or gets you somewhere and opens those doors, which is so true. And honestly, that's been, my whole, I guess, career, is you go to, like, coming here last year, this was my dad was like, hey, let's go to Batoche, and they've got Batoche Idol, and I was like, okay, sure. So I went there, and like, not expecting to come out on top, but was fortunate enough to do that. And from there they reached out to me to play this year, and then now I've got three separate shows here, and so I mean, even that, it's kind of crazy how the one thing just leads to another.
Yeah. Well, I for one don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, right? And I believe that you are what you think. You know what I mean? So with that in mind, where do you see yourself in 5-10 years from now? Where do you want to see yourself in 5-10 years?
Mm-hmm. Hoping, honestly, like, no matter what happens, just still gonna be playing music, and hope I'm still gonna be playing here. Like, no matter what happens, I still wanna come here and play, and just keep playing, whether that's opening for someone big or headlining my own shows. Yeah. It's kind of tough. I mean, I can have goals and dreams and stuff, but that timing is kind of out of my control.
Yeah.
But whether it be 30 years down the road before I'm headlining or something, that could be the case. But there's a song by Luke Combs where he's like, if I'd still be doing this if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
And that's exactly me. It's like I could be playing for 3 people that show up to a bar in some no-name town, or playing a sold-out show or whatever. And but the biggest thing is like we were just saying, like, helping that one person. Yep. And which I think is really tough sometimes, because you go into the bars and it feels like nobody's even paying attention to you, but then you've got that 1 or 2 people that come up to you after the show and were like, that was so good. And it's like, man, like, there was someone listening.
Exactly.
So you gotta put on every show as if, like, even there's just one person paying attention, and that you were kind of sent to help them.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I love that the set that you did here today earlier, and you do a wicked Dwight Yoakam. That's really good. Yeah, I enjoyed that, and even put the cameras down for a song or two and dancing my woman there. So really good. And Brody, I really want to thank you for standing here and talking with me and interviewing. But where can people find you? Where can people reach you? And do you have anything on Spotify or iTunes or anything like that? Or?
Nothing on Spotify yet. That, honestly, after this weekend, I've just been so busy with shows and stuff. But I think I'm gonna actually kind of buckle down and get out at least a single for now, and then kind of go from there. But just so something's out, and but you can find me on social media, like, just under Brody Jerome Music. I've got a website. That's honestly, for me, it's funny, I'm only 24, but like, I hate social media. Like, I'm very much an old soul when it comes to that. So like, I try my hardest to kind of be active on there, but my website, just brodyjerome.ca, is probably the best spot, because I've got a calendar on there that every time I book a show, throw it on the calendar, and then I try to put all the details in the description of it, so that way if anyone's like, oh, I want to know where he's playing, just go to my website, and then it's so much easier than trying to sit around waiting for me to maybe post about a show, because I'm not always the best about it, or maybe I post a little bit too last minute, but brodyjerome.ca.
Okay. Perfect. And do me a favor, if you do release any songs, release the one you did last year. I love that song, and like you said, a lot of feedback on my video on that, and people have even asked me about it, and you from last year, right? So I think that's one that, if you do that one, I think that's really a catchy tune, right?
Absolutely. No, that one I want to record that one, I think, just live. Just record it live off the floor, and because I think that's how that song touches people. I've tried playing it with my band, and it's too much. When you add the drums, not that it sounds bad, but it's just like, that song is the lyrics are, and the feeling is the song.
Yeah, acoustic is the way to go, I think.
Exactly. So that's definitely one that I can do kind of on my own, really. Like, I can record just on my own. Don't have to worry about finding other musicians to come record with me. Like, I can just sit down and do it. It's all just a matter of me buckling down and doing it. But no, that definitely is going to be one of the ones coming out first.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And tomorrow, you said you got 2 more places on stage to be, or where are you at tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm here at 11.
Okay.
So on the outdoor stage, and then on the main stage at 1, playing for the Alberta showcase.
Okay. No, that's awesome. I plan to be at both of those. So I want to thank you very much for joining me here, Brody. And I really, really love your music. So I wish you big luck in your future and that. And hopefully the videos that we put out here will help you get that reach.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, folks. Examaga. Kinaskom Tinawao. We thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thanks everybody for watching. Kinaskom Tin. Please like, share, and subscribe. Examaga.